Strategically run into it.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, so today we're here with my friend Arlene, and we're just going to be talking a little bit about your life. We'll learn some stories from you, maybe some tips and tricks you've learned along the way, because you know a lot of stuff. So if you'd like to introduce yourself there, let everybody know who you are.
Okay. Arlene Pence, married for 58 years, 3 children, 8 grandchildren, 6.5 great-grandchildren. I've been around a little while and I know a lot.
Yes, so I have heard.
I'll let you know that.
So to get started, let's start at the beginning. You've been alive for a little while. Tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up for you. Did you grow up in this area?
Mm-hmm. Putneyville.
Okay.
I don't know if you know where that is. Probably not.
I've seen the signs. I don't know if I have a clue where it is.
Cute little village. It was a good place to grow up. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to live there.
Okay.
Forever.
Okay.
And I'm glad that the kids and Clyde and I moved to this area, close to the high schools, and so it was easier to live here than there.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a trip. It's down in a gully. It's cute, but.
Yeah. How many, when you went to school then, in such a small area, you said Putneyville? Mm-hmm. Did it have a school there?
It did, but it was closed by the time I was ready for
Okay.
school. So they moved us to Seminole, which is a little town just about 4 miles away.
Okay.
And we had, we didn't have kindergarten. It was first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then on to the high school.
Really? Mm-hmm. So did you do kindergarten at home? What did they do for kindergarten?
No, we didn't do. It was first grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did they start you at a regular kindergarten time, or you just started school in first grade?
Usually 6 or 7, depending on the kid.
Okay.
But there was no testing or anything. You just went when it was time.
Okay. And how many kids were in a class?
Oh, I'd say 10, 15. That was a big class.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there were smaller. As you went on, you lost kids. They, moved or whatever. But
right.
Then our graduating class from high school was 147, which was one of the bigger classes. So put them all together.
Okay. Did they combine a bunch of local schools and areas? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think there were 7 local little schools like that.
Oh, okay.
In the area, and then you all went to the high school.
Okay. Was your high school a middle and high school combined?
No, at the time it was just 7th through 12th.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then growing up, were you an only child? Did you have brothers and sisters?
There were 4 of us.
Okay.
I was the third of 4.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And were they in line? Because I know your kids, there was you had the 2, and then a little bit later came that last one.
Yeah. They were, the first 2 were 2 years apart. Then I came along 6 years.
Oh, okay.
After, and then my brother, the baby, came along 6 years again. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was kind of spread.
My older brother and sister were gone by the time we.
Okay. So I assume it was almost like it kind of felt like you grew up with just one sibling in the house a little bit?
Just about, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did your siblings move away, or did they stay close to home?
The older 2. One went to Long Island. He was a school teacher.
Okay.
And he went to New York State. And my sister and her husband were married at 15.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And started the boot box in Meadville.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. No way.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from, that area.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's still a popular place. I mean, people come from everywhere, all over the state and out of state to go shopping there.
It started out, he had a barber shop there. Dutch did. He was a barber. He built on. He bought an old house behind, and they added to it, and now it's got 3 floors.
Oh, no way. Huh.
2 floors.
Okay. Yeah. When I was growing up, I remember there being 2 floors there. Mm-hmm. And they have boots and hats and all sorts of awesome stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I said to Dutch one, he and I had a relationship that just picking, tease. And I said to him one time, don't you think you should put in a section for plus sizes? He said, well, I would, Arlene, but it's so expensive. And I said, why would it be more expensive? And he said, I'd have to reinforce the floor.
little shit.
Oh, it was constant. It was just, and I never cracked a smile. And I said, oh, I understand. You're going to get a nose job one of these days? Because he has a real home.
Yes.
And he goes, I wasn't thinking about it. And I said, I think I'd think about it. And it was just constant back and forth. And
Yes.
I loved them. They're both gone, my sister and her.
Okay.
And Dutch are both gone now. So, but yeah, it was always fun.
Oh, yeah.
I expect any minute for you two to start.
Yes.
Punching. And
Yes.
I said, no, I don't think either one of us have any desire to punch.
Oh, teasing is your love language. I like it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, that's great. And did they always have like antiques and stuff up around the top?
You should have seen their home.
Really?
Oh, they had the best taste. And he built their home. It's out on French Creek.
Yeah.
Right on French Creek.
Yep.
And a beautiful home. And it was a wall probably twice that size of that wall there.
Okay.
And he built beautiful cupboards in. He used mahogany wood and beautiful cupboards lit with glass shelves, and it was full of cobalt.
Oh.
And the lights shined. She had, I think, every piece they ever made.
Oh, my.
And I can't help it now. I think, wonder what happened to that.
Yeah.
Because Dylan and his family live there now.
Okay.
And they don't seem like they would like antiques.
Okay.
And I've never seen the home since they've had it. So I wonder if they sold it. Just out of curiosity. Doesn't mean anything.
I hope somebody who appreciates that kind of stuff ended up with it.
Yeah.
I know of a home recently of a friend of my grandmother's. They're selling the home, and her house was filled with beautiful, beautiful pieces. And she's not like me. She kept everything clean and organized and dusted, and it was immaculate. And there were pieces from probably mostly the 60s, but stuff from the 1800s. It was gorgeous. And I think the family, they didn't know what to do with it. They weren't sure, so they just dumpstered. And I thought,
oh, that made my heart.
I know. Mine too.
Well, I'll tell you, I have a fear of that happening here. Morgan likes some things, but not all, which is, that's okay. Melissa, not at all. Mike and his wife, not at all. It's dust collectors, Well, Clyde doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know the things that are of value. So, are they going to get a dumpster? Well, please step in and
I won't let them.
Morgan, don't
Yes.
get a dumpster.
No.
Because I don't care even if you have an auction. Because someone who loves that will buy that.
Yes.
And enjoy it.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Hi, baby.
what's the trouble?
Do you need some loving?
Look at his foot. He's got a cyst on his foot.
You poor thing.
And they said that he's really too old to do anything with it. So,
Now, growing up back in the day, what year did you graduate high school?
66.
Okay. That was the year my dad was born. And actually my mom as well. I think both of them were born that year. Oh, hi, baby. Hi. Looking at things back then, as you were growing up, compared, you see how your grandchildren and great-grandchildren are growing up. What are the biggest differences that you see?
Discipline. There is none. And I never believed in, they got some smacks or something like that. But these kids today, it's sad. And I hate to even say it because I'm old. But when they go into life,
right?
You have to learn how to act. And a job situation.
Right.
They have no respect for the law or the teachers or anyone. We were taught to respect those people of, authority.
Right.
But now they're taught, I have my rights and, I don't, but that's one of the biggest things that I see different.
Yeah.
And the way they feed them. A chicken nugget, if that's all they'll eat, that's all they get.
Right.
There's no choices. I mean, they don't want a choice, but there's no, here, try this or try that. And I have 3 kids that'll eat. They're good eaters, healthy eaters. Because you don't like cauliflower. Okay, let's try broccoli.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
They won't do that.
Yeah.
But those are 2 biggies.
Now, growing up for you, when eating as a kid, when your parents would feed you guys, what kind of foods do you remember growing up on, and what did that look like?
My mom was a gardener.
Okay.
Huge garden. She tended it all of herself.
Okay.
And canned, cold packed.
Oh, yes.
She was not too much into the freezing because when I was a kid, she didn't have a freezer except on the top of the refrigerator that she canned and cold packed. My younger brother used to say, "Don't stand still too long in Mom's kitchen. She'll can you." And she did. She canned. You know when you grow potatoes, there's the little tiny ones that haven't developed. She took those, cleaned them up, and cold packed them.
Ooh.
She'd take them out and just roll them in butter and fry them, or put them in her soups.
Yeah.
You know, because some of them were, you know, teeny. Well, you buy them now and look how expensive they are. But she canned them, and you could go to her basement and get a whole meal because she canned cold packed chicken, pork. Rabbit, which there's something about that. I didn't like that.
No.
I guess the Easter Bunny movie. I just couldn't.
How are you supposed to get your candy? If she cans the rabbit.
What's going to happen in my basket? But she canned, so you could get meat, vegetable, potato, soup, tomato soup. You know, just that's the way we were brought up.
Did they, now with the meat and everything and the rabbits, did you guys grow up hunting, or did your dad hunt?
Dad hunted, but my grandpa raised rabbits. For eating.
Nice. Did you ever have to help butcher?
No.
Okay.
No, I never got to.
Okay.
And I wouldn't eat the rabbit. There was something, it was probably psychological, but because I'd play with them from the time they were, and then they get big and you eat them.
Okay.
There was something about that.
Yeah.
But,
did you notice a different flavor to them, or it was just like this was my friend?
The texture.
Okay.
They were, I want to say slimy.
Okay.
Did you ever eat a rabbit?
No. Okay.
You won't like it. But when they'd have rabbit, that's the thing. Mom didn't have it as often as my grandma. That'd be my dad's. It's not that she wasn't a good cook.
Yeah.
It's just there was the texture. She would boil it, roll it in flour, and fry it. The rabbit, but in the first bite was crunchy, and then it was.
Okay.
That's what it was.
That slimy feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She ate groundhog. My grandma.
Really? Did you ever eat it?
No.
Okay.
It didn't smell good.
Okay. What did it, like poop? What did it smell like? I've heard it kind of has like a poopy smell.
B.O.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what it smelled like when she was cooking it. You'd walk in and think, somebody needs a shower. and it was, I see you're cooking groundhog.
Yeah. Did they hunt for them?
Grandpa would go out and shoot them, the mushroom. Oh.
Yeah.
He hunted. He had his little hunting places. And we weren't allowed to go because he was afraid we'd tell someone where he found his little gold mine. So what's the name of the little one that looks like an upside down tree?
The morel.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he would come home with a burlap bag half full. Now you know how many that would take to fill a burlap bag.
Oh.
And she would take those and clean them and I'd help her swish. We'd swish them and get the mud out of it. And cook them with steak and onions and mushrooms. Oh, that was delicious.
Wow. We have a tiny morel patch on our property, and we haven't had any mushrooms on it for like 2 years, but it's like you don't tell anybody where it is because...
All he'd tell us is under an old apple tree. Well, you know, that just makes a kid want to go.
Yes.
Look. So there were like 5 or 6 of us cousins that kind of hung together, and we'd watch him go till he got out of sight up through the woods, and then we'd try to follow him.
Yeah.
Well, he knew it. And he turned. And then one time he turned around and he said, "Get back home."
Yeah.
Well, we scattered. We went back home. We were not allowed to see where that was, and we tried to find it different times.
Yeah.
There was a something punk grew on a tree. Maybe he just called it that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looked like a shelf.
Okay.
And it was creamy colored.
Like reishi? Was it waxy on the
Yes,
top?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Did he make it into tea?
They ate them.
Oh.
They sliced them real thin and fried them in bacon fat. And she was 104 when she died, and he was 98. So the bacon fat was not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever do the orange mushrooms? The chicken of the woods? Have you heard of those ones?
No, I don't think.
Okay. You have to be careful picking them because you can usually tell a difference. Your grandson, Zach, would definitely know. But there's a difference between them, but the ones that kind of glow in the dark that are orange, they're jack-o'-lanterns, and you don't want to eat those.
Okay.
But there's some that are called chicken of the woods.
I've heard that.
Yeah, orange, and they grow in I guess it kind of looks like a little shelf. They grow in...
Well, maybe that's what it was, because I was awful young. And what are you having for lunch? Grandma cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if we were there, he was a little bugger. Grandpa, he had a sense of humor, and he had a strawberry patch that was longer than this house.
Oh my!
And wide too. And so I'd go up to help him pick. Well, I'd eat more.
Of course,
and I'd eat them or step on them. And he'd go, and we just lived down over the hill from them.
Yeah.
And he'd say, listen. And I'd listen real intensely, and I'd say, what do you hear, Grandpa? He said, I believe I hear your mother calling you. He wanted me out of the patch. And I said, okay. He said, you better go. You don't want to get in trouble. I said, I would fly home, running, tripping, falling. And I'd get there, and Mom would say, what's going on? Did you call me? She knew what was going on. No, I didn't call you, but you stay here. And I was just little.
Yeah.
I believe I hear your mother.
That is one strawberry too many to lose.
Yeah.
Hi, baby.
Hey. Really? Do you have to go outside? Yeah.
All right, so on our little break there, our little coffee break, you were showing me this right here. So this is, I'll get a little closer, and you could tell us the story about this.
Okay.
So this little guy, he's a little bank, right?
Yeah, piggy bank.
Okay.
When my mother, after she had her stroke, I would take her groceries or take her to the doctor or whatever, and that's how she paid me. I wouldn't take money for it, but she would give me things.
Yeah.
And so one day it was sitting on the kitchen table, and I said, what you got the pig out for? She said, do you know the story to that pig? And I said, no, I don't think I do. In all the years I'd never heard it. And she said, I think it was her mother gave it to her and said, put your quarters in the piggy bank, and when you have your baby, you'll be able to pay the doctor with what's in there. She had $42 and he charged $45. So Dad had to throw in a little. But she took the money out of his foot and paid the doctor with what was in the piggy bank.
Wow. Can you imagine $45 to pay to have a baby?
It was 44 for a boy because of it's circumcised.
Okay.
And that's something.
No kidding. Imagine now, I bet all those quarters were silver quarters too. I bet they're worth a lot more money now than...
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. But he's, that's what I like about antiques is the stories that, for me, my story.
So this is your birth bank.
Yeah. Yep. And I never noticed, I'm looking here, I never noticed the eyelashes and the...
Yeah. That's cute.
How detailed he is.
It's little overalls.
He should have eyelashes like that.
Well, maybe it's a girl. Well, you know what, though? You look at men, especially like when they're children or babies, and we have to put on mascara and to get our lashes, put on false lashes, and you look at little boys and their eyelashes are like out to here. And
Christopher. He's got the most beautiful lashes and has since he was born.
Yeah. You just want to rip them right out of their eyes and take them.
I wonder why that is, though. Wonder why. You're right. More boys have really pretty long.
Yeah, than girls do.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because we put stuff on our eyelashes and it makes them fall out?
But even as babies, Christopher had them as baby. I mean, he'd just give you that blink and
Flutter them at you.
he could melt you pretty easy.
Tell me a little bit about, by the time you were born and growing up, I know you're from a small town, but things, I mean, cars and everything were, and refrigeration, all that stuff was around already, right? You guys weren't behind on that in the small town? Okay. Did your mom or dad or grandparents ever talk about the changes with the vehicles and the refrigeration and electricity? Did they tell you stories about growing up without it?
My grandpa told us stories. But he walked everywhere. He walked to work, which he had to walk from Putneyville. The wooden box right there, sitting behind the love seat.
Yeah.
He carried that full of tools. The string is still on it that he used the rope, and carried that everywhere he went to work.
Oh my! How far did he have to walk?
Oh, it depended on where the job was. You know, sometimes it was just Seminole. You know they built bridges, houses, whatever. Where they tied together the logs and floated them down the creek to sell them at Pittsburgh. Yeah. Well, he was on that crew.
Okay.
So he would work on that. But he never had a car, never owned a car in his life.
Really? Not even later in life?
No. And I don't know really why. They weren't real flush money-wise. It might have something to do with that. But he never learned to drive. He never got licensed. He went from horse and buggy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? Did you guys ever, like, when I know he was still around when you were little, so did you have to take him places? Did your parents drive him places?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they came from a big family, so my mom and dad would take them for groceries. But their groceries consisted of sugar, salt, because they had everything else. Right. They raised their own animals. They had their own eggs. They, you know, the whole bit. So they just had to go get, what would you call that? Staples. I don't know. Yeah. Just flour. Okay. Flour. But. And
then you said your mom had a garden growing up too. And did you have a garden? Did you ever garden?
Yeah, when we lived here, but it wasn't huge, and it never succeeded. We had so many deer up in here. Yeah. And they just cleaned it off.
I'm sure decimated it.
We were never too successful with our gardens.
Did you follow in your mom's footsteps with canning? Did you do a lot of canning?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate it. Yeah, I do. I hate it. I do. It's a lot of work, a lot of mess. I never had a place. Mom had a place that she canned. Okay. And her mess stayed there. It wasn't all through the house. But yeah, but I did it. I made homemade vegetable soup. We still do sauerkraut. Whatever I had. Yeah. Oh, venison. We pride hunted. We canned the venison. So, yeah, I did my share, I thought. Yes. It's time consuming, and it's better for you because it's good stuff. Right. And I know that, but is it worth it? Do you can?
On and off, yes. Depending on, I go through phases. Morgan's over here laughing at me. Her daughter, youngest daughter, Morgan, is here, but she's off camera. Are you wanting to be on camera at all today? Okay. She's staying off camera. Those of you who have watched before, you may have heard me talk about my soul sister, work wife, Morgan. That is Arlene's youngest daughter. And so when we're talking to somebody off camera here, it could be a ghost. We could be lying. We could be making it up, but it's Morgan. She's over here. But yeah, as Morgan knows, I go through phases of things where I go really hard into something for a minute and then I don't do it again for a while. So we have a bunch of apple trees, and I did everything in 2015. I did every single apple thing you could imagine and canned it for weeks and weeks and weeks. So much so that we still have some. And I know you're supposed to use things up in 18 months.
Really?
Yes, I think that's what the Ball Blue Book of Safety says. You have to.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Of course we did when we were at home. Mom canned all that, and we were down to the.
Oh, I'm sure if you guys used it like that.
Yeah. Yep. She canned celery.
Celery. Really?
She grew her own, and after she was done doing her vegetable soup and spaghetti sauce and all that took the celery, she would take it and clean it and stuff it down into jars, and it would be packed. And I don't think there was it was just water.
I was going to say, it wasn't a brine?
It wasn't like a pickle.
Oh, she didn't pickle it or anything?
And then she would take it out and put it in her soups.
Huh.
And
It
was in the sticks, you know.
Yeah. Did it
Not
say
chewy.
crispy?
I wouldn't say crispy.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a stretch, but she even used the broth in her soups.
Oh, yeah. I bet that was
I
delicious.
can't think of anything that woman didn't can. It was unreal, and she loved it.
Yeah.
You have to love that to do it.
Yes.
Ooh.
Did you just water bath or did you pressure can
Water
too?
bath.
Okay.
She had 2 big coal packers going up once on
Okay.
her little gas stove.
We have, I think the venison, I like it particularly for the venison because I want to like venison so badly. I want to be someone who enjoys it, but I just don't. I don't like the flavor.
Do you like it canned?
Yes.
See, I do too. That's
Yep.
I'm the same way. I do not like it. Like a steak or a roast. My brother-in-law, Dutch, was a great white hunter. We
Yeah.
called him. And he had a bear roast, and it was beautiful. It was, like enrolled.
Yeah.
Well, he brought it down to me, and I said, well, now how do I cook this? I've never cooked bear. And he said, just the same way you would a beef roast. I said, okay, I can handle that. I cooked that thing for days, and I'm not exaggerating,
Yeah.
and you couldn't penetrate it with a fork. So I called him, and I said, Dutch, I can't get this to tender up. I can't even poke it with a fork.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing it wrong. I said, well, okay, tell me what to do. And he said, well, did you put any seasoning? Oh, of course, yeah, I seasoned it up. And what temperature? I told him. And he said, now how long is it cooked? And it was all day, that when I first called him. And he said, well, you just aren't cooking it long enough. Okay. So we didn't have it for supper that night because it was unedible.
Yeah.
So the next night, I cooked it all day again. I mean, you could not poke a fork in it. So the dog wouldn't eat it. Yeah, I cut a piece off and gave it to, I don't remember who was here at the time, what dog, but gave it to him, and he smelled it and walked away. So I called Dutch back and I said, Dutch, you said to cook this 3 or 4 hours. I've cooked it 3 days, and it's he said you cooked it too long. And I said, well, it's unedible. He said, well, give it to the dog. I said, tried that. You won't eat it. And he said, well, that was an old bear. I was telling her about how Dutch and I picked at each other, just constant. And Clyde said, any minute it's going to break into a real, fight. And I said, no. It never did.
My dress is unzipping back here. Morgan walked in and it just fell open.
She has that.
It was the tight jeans.
It's my electric personality. Is what it really is.
That probably was.
Tight jeans.
Yeah.
Put those 2 things together.
What can you do? All right, so we talked a little bit about, is there anything else specific, any stories you remember about growing up that you want to share with the whole world? The whole world.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought she had an idea. I can't really, subject matter. Just the way my parents, I had a good life. I had a very good childhood, and I think I was good to my parents when they both got ill, and so it all come around and come out.
Yeah. And how did you meet your husband? You said you've been married for quite some time, so how did you two meet?
High school.
Okay.
We were we started to go together my senior year and his junior year.
Okay. Oh, you little cougar.
Yeah, I thought I'd raise him the way I wanted him, and it didn't work out. He is a pet,
Yes.
but we've stayed together. So
Yeah.
no, 58 years it'll be in July.
And I saw the wedding photos. Your wedding day, did you guys have a big wedding, a small wedding?
No, very small.
Okay.
I think there were like 50 people.
I don't think 50 people is very small.
Oh, don't you?
No, I mean, I don't
Some
know.
of the
Is it very
ones that
small?
Zach does and all this are big. But yeah, it was very small and just family and close friends.
Tell
Okay.
Ashley about your honeymoon. What you and Dad did after marriage.
Well, I don't know if that's a story for the camera.
It is.
Now, this is a pretty good one.
Okay.
Oh. Have you heard stories about my mother-in-law?
I have heard stories about her, about all the different things that she's done, but I don't know that I don't know where you're going here, so maybe not.
She was a very strong woman.
Yes.
And everyone, if you knew Shirley, you wanted to please her, and I wanted her to like me.
Yes.
So Clyde says, I want to go to camp for our honeymoon. Well, I never had been to the camp. I didn't know. It could be lovely. It could be, a shack.
Yeah.
It was a shack. The mice had got through it. We were married in July. No one had been there since hunting season in December. And there were worms in the frying pan. And I was not domestic at all.
Okay.
And it was disgusting. I gagged and boked when I oh, it was awful. And
Nobody came and cleaned it up before your honeymoon?
we were lucky to even, his grandfather had sold it.
Okay.
So we had to go to the friend who bought it and ask for the key. And they said, yeah, but it's a mess. Well, they weren't lying. The bed was chewed up by mice, and they made nests in the bedding.
Oh.
It was awful.
Oh, my.
So we spent, I think, 3 days there. Of course, we cleaned most of the time. And so you could lay down or sit down.
Yeah.
And so Clyde said this was a mistake. And I said, oh, it's okay. So when we got back home, his mom said to me, we were alone in the kitchen, and she said, so how was your honeymoon? And I said, okay. And she said, do you have anything to bitch about? And I said, no, it was okay. And she said, you're going to be a good one. And I said, what do you mean? She said, if you did that on your honeymoon and didn't gripe, you're a good one. And I said, well, I can only hope, I guess, because I don't want you mad at me. She was scary.
Okay.
But she, how do you describe, I don't even know how to describe her. Just strong-willed, and you wanted to please her, and I always liked her. We got along well. But, yeah, she told me I was going to be a good one, so I believed her.
Well, I think maybe that honeymoon was worth it.
Yeah, the worms.
What about what you did right after that?
All took off and went to Illinois and lived in a 17-foot camper trailer for 9 weeks.
Wait, what?
Clyde went to heavy equipment operating school.
Okay.
And we didn't want to be separated. We wanted to be together. So a friend of Shirley and Vern's, his dad, mom and dad, lent us their camper, 17 foot from one end to the other, and about that wide. You could, Clyde just, well, I won't say that. But you could do a lot of things in the bathroom. You could go to the bathroom.
Yes.
You could take a shower while you were sitting there. I mean, it was fun.
Oh.
So, but Shirley said, I said, oh, it's really little. And she said, you'll be fine. I said, yep, you're right, I will. And we were fine.
Wow.
But it was, we had no money. Our parents, neither one of them, I guess, thought we didn't need money. We had no money. Shirley and Vern paid for our, the weeks that we were going to be there. It was like in a trailer court.
Okay.
And so they paid for that, so we didn't have that. We had to put gas in the car for him to go back and forth to school. But we didn't, my mom sent us $5. And we took it to the grocery store and bought stuff to eat.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you, how did you eat in that thing?
Well,
was there a kitchen or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a little little kitchenette, very small, trust me. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, we made her.
Wow, 9 weeks. Mm-hmm. Holy
Boy,
moly.
was I glad to get back home.
Yeah.
I was homesick. It was the first time I was gone that long. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And pregnant.
And pregnant.
Oh, you were pregnant in that little thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't get pregnant in that little thing.
Well, for how small, if it's only this wide, you might have if you weren't.
You gotta, make your bed every night and then make it back up to be a couch the next morning. Oh, yeah, it was.
What kind of things did you eat in there?
I wasn't a cook,
I know.
I had never cooked much, so I tried.
At that time. I mean, I'm just saying, at that time in their life.
My mom didn't want me in the kitchen.
Okay.
Any of us. We
got in her way and
got in
messed
her
up
way
things.
and messed up things and all this. She had her way. Were you saying I'm the same way? Oh yeah, she's right. I am. But,
So back to your little trailer days, what would you and Dad eat?
well, I tried to make things that didn't turn out so good.
Yeah.
Had an oven this big, so I had a little loaf pan that I
Okay.
made my stuff in. Tried to make a meatloaf one time. And when I took it out to get it,
It's big.
when I took it out to get it out of we didn't have any money to buy
Yeah.
stuff, but chili. The chili was the biggie.
Okay.
I wish Clyde was here to tell you this story. He tells it much better. He doesn't like I don't either, real spicy, hot food.
Okay.
So I put too much chili powder in it. And it was pretty, hot. And he said, we're sitting in this little camper trailer at the, the booth.
Yeah.
And so you're that far apart.
Right.
And I was buttering my bread. And he said, boy, this chili is hot. And I said, well, I just took it off the stove. He said, no, I mean spicy, too spicy. I wheeled that knife at him, Ashley. I just went, and a butter knife, and it whizzed right by his head. And it landed over, and I picked up, and I just finished butter, and I never looked up. And he said, you almost hit me with that. I said, I almost tried. Because he never said anything again about my food. I said, Clyde, I've never made chili before. Give me a break. And I think I cried or something. If I'd have taken out his eye, I'd have really cried. But he tells that story pretty good.
Oh, that's
I heard
great.
it whizzing by my ear. Somebody said, did you fight in that little thing? Nope, just one fight. I almost died.
To learn to keep his mouth shut after that.
Yeah. He never did say too much. He was pretty good about it. But when you have no money, it is a little difficult to make anything. Mm-hmm. What do you make? So Shirley had sent me with canned goods, so we would have canned stuff. I didn't have any idea what corned beef hash was.
Okay.
And I guess I'm a little fussy eater. I like good food. But I opened that up and I thought, oh, what in the hell is that? It looks like someone threw up. And what am I supposed to do with that? Mm-hmm. We didn't even have a phone.
Oh.
Yeah, in order to call home, we had to walk downtown. We lived in Joliet,
Okay.
Illinois. And we had to walk, which was a pretty good little walk. And to get to go to the
Payphone, probably.
yeah, there was a payphone by the laundromat. Mm-hmm. And we would go do our laundry, which was a stress to have money to. Oh, it was an experience.
Huh.
There's a lot of good stories come out of that one.
And then did you come back here afterward, or what did? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then we lived with his mom and dad for a year. Mm-hmm. She was going to LPN school.
Okay.
And so I kind of took over chief cook and bottle washer
Okay.
while she was gone.
Mm-hmm. And I assume by then you started to learn how to cook?
Yeah, a little better. But
Okay.
the neighbor lady, Pat Merwin, I'd call her, I'd say, Pat, Shirley laid out a ham. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to, I'm supposed to bake it for supper. I'll be right over. And she'd come over. Melissa was born then, and she loved babies, and she would sit and hold her and give her a bottle or something and talk me through
Okay.
what to do. She didn't do it for me. She talked to me. She went, scallop potatoes, what's in scallop potatoes? And she'd say, okay, get your potatoes, scrub them up, talk me through it while she coochie-cooed the baby.
Huh.
So I always told Pat, you
Yeah.
taught me how to cook.
I bet she loved that.
She did. She did. Yeah. And she was a good cook.
Is she who you primarily learned cooking from?
I'd say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. She was a little Italian girl. She was
Yeah.
a Montana
Okay.
from Clarion. But she was a good one.
Do you remember any special foods growing up from your family? Like anything that was really special that you carried through or kept cooking later on in your mom's or grandma's
My
recipes?
steak and onion mushroom gravy.
Oh, tell me about this.
Oh, it's you just round steak.
I literally could drink the gravy with just, I put it in my coffee cup.
They were here
Drink
one
it.
night. I had that for dinner, and Emmanuel said, "Slow down, girl. You're going to choke yourself." And she said, she looked up at him and she goes, "I could drink this shit." And he goes, "I think you are."
Oh, so good.
But that was one that Mom always cooked, and Grandma cooked it with those mushrooms we were talking about.
Yeah.
But so that seems to be an old standby of the goes back a couple generations.
Yeah.
And Mom had corn on the cob every night. I hate it, Ashley. I hate
really?
corn
Do you think that's why you hate it?
because we had it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I still don't like it. I mean,
Well, I know, but I'm saying, like, sometimes, when people have things or have to make things, over and over and over and over again, that's why I hate spaghetti. Like,
yeah.
like, I would rather just starve. I just
Yeah.
wonder if that's why
Yeah,
you don't really like it.
It's very possible. And jellies and jams. Mom made all of her own.
Okay.
She picked the berries. She, raised the berries, whatever, and made. I hate it. I hate jams, and I still do.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
if it's because we had it so much.
It was on the
I don't know.
table probably for every meal. Your dad had to have bread, butter, and jelly, or your jellies or your jams.
Yeah.
It was literally on the table every meal.
Oh yeah. But homemade bread, she had every meal too, and I still love it.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, that's one thing I didn't get. My mother was an excellent baker. She was a good cook all the way around. But stuffed peppers
Oh.
with, I can bake potatoes, stuffed peppers in the oven, and she always did a thing of baked beans. Now why that combination? But it was good. But and I can't get my stuffed peppers to taste like hers. I don't think they ever
Okay.
would.
Obviously, I assume you don't know what she did differently because you would probably do it and know, but I wonder
Yeah.
what was different about hers.
There was a different. Well, you know what I think? She covered them with fresh canned tomato juice,
Okay.
and that could very well be what was different.
And you're not going through all that cannon tomato juice. That's a messy job.
What about pickled pig's feet?
Oh yeah, that was
That was a grandma classic.
But it
Nobody
wasn't
else.
pig feet. It was actual. She'd get a big roast, pork roast,
Okay.
and cook it and cook it and cook it, and put it through a grinder,
Okay.
and put it in the juice, and then thicken it with Knox gelatin. And so it was like a little.
Like a loaf?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She put it like in a loaf type thing. You never liked it, did you?
You and Uncle Rick.
Oh yeah,
That was your
well,
thing.
we pretended we were fighting over it.
Big meals, or big holidays.
Yeah.
When we were together, Easter usually, I feel like was when we went to Grandma's Short and Cross. But I remember that was always, she had it every single time for.
It was a request,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the broccoli casserole thing.
So she called it pickled pig's feet, but it was just like a pork
Yeah,
roast
it's just a roast.
ground
How
up
come in my brain
within
I
gelatin.
remember looking in that gelatin and seeing feet.
No, you just
Oh.
no, you didn't.
Was that
It's probably your imagination.
Yeah.
So it's funny how our memories do that, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. No,
Because I remember being grossed out by it, and I could have swore I saw some feet.
No, it's just because you heard it was pickled pig feet. Yeah, there was never. I can never remember Mom making it with the pig feet.
Really?
And they used to make it with the pig feet because there's something in the bone of the pig
collagen.
that would gel it.
Yeah. So I bet they wouldn't need that gelatin, all that collagen.
But there's no, all there is gristle on a pig foot thing. And Dad liked meat.
I wonder if Uncle Rick ever tries to duplicate that.
Oh, I never heard if he did.
Yeah.
Did it taste pickled? Like were there pickling spices and everything in it? Okay.
Oh, it was tasty. It was, but Mom would set the platter out, or the thing it was in, she had it cut in little squares. And Rick would say, "I see you reaching across there and getting some of that. I'm gonna stab you with my fork." Yeah, you gotta be quick. You gotta be quick.
Oh, that's great. And then, okay, so now going through, as you were married, you stayed home? Did you work? What did you do?
I was a housewife and mother. Clyde was, first few years of our marriage, he worked around here.
Okay.
But the money was in the trucking, and that's what he chose to do. So he would be gone from Sunday night until Friday night.
Right.
So somebody had to be home.
Yeah. Somebody had to watch these kids.
Yeah. I did the best I knew how. You were a trip.
Now, you were just telling me about this quilt back here before we were recording. So tell me this story again.
Clyde's grandmother called and asked me to come. She had a third floor, and to bring some stuff down she was going to put out for garbage. And I went down to help her, and this quilt was in it, and my light, and there were several really pretty items, good items in it, and they were going to the dumpster.
Yeah.
So I saved it.
Yes, thank goodness you did. I cannot imagine sending that. That is gorgeous.
Well, Grandma was very, very, very neat, and everything was clean, and and she threw out if she didn't have a purpose, and it took room in her cupboard.
Okay.
It was taking up room. She never had it on a bed, or she didn't. And her mother-in-law made it, and she never liked her mother-in-law.
Oh.
So it had no meaning.
Yes.
To her.
Living through so many different decades, what do you feel like for you has been the most memorable historical event that you've lived through, or the most meaningful?
Listening to my grandfather tell his stories about work, where he worked. I would spend a lot of time with my grandpa, and he liked to talk. And he would tell stories. His dad fought in the Battle of Gettysburg.
Oh, wow.
My grandpa's dad.
Yeah.
He went to the service when he was 16. And when he came back, he started having his family. And he told it was a big deal. And so he told his boys the stories about it. So we went to Gettysburg.
Yeah.
To see the monuments and all this and that. And he found his dad's name on the Pennsylvania monument.
Oh, wow.
And that was a big deal.
Yeah.
But he told some good stories. I think they were all pretty accurate. I don't think he was a storyteller.
Right. Yes.
He just told it the way it was. But I think listening to him talk, seeing the way things were, and how I grew up through watching him work, and he had his own smokehouse. He had.
Oh, wow.
He was very. I don't know what would be a good word. He just jack of all trades. I mean, gardening and growing animals, and and he would take care of the outside, bring it in, and Grandma took care of the inside.
Okay.
She did the cooking and the canning and the baking. And
So they had their own roles and made everything work.
Yeah. Yeah. They were a couple.
I think that's something different today. I notice I struggle with that, and a lot of other people I know struggle with that. I'm very, very strongly, very much a feminist. Very much believe that women can do just about anything we want to do, and there will be no one to tell me what to do except my grandma. My husband won't tell me what to do. Nobody can tell me what to do. But Morgan's laughing. I think women and men back in the day, everybody had their own roles, and there was no competing of the roles. Everybody knew what their jobs were, and I think that made it a lot easier for things. I certainly don't think it was easier for women to be independent and those sorts of things back in the day, but I do think maybe being married in that time, that was probably a lot easier. Just knowing the roles and not competing.
Divorce was not something you did. It just, and sure there were some.
Yeah.
But mostly it was because they were beaten. It was really serious things. Some of these girls today, well, I don't know what would police them. Some of them, you know, with the marriage thing. There's rules and regulations to everything you do in life. There's got to be some rules. You've got to have some rules. But things have changed.
Oh, yeah.
It's done a big degree change.
So seeing how things were back then compared to now, what do you think the most positive change has been? Like if you look back and you think, man, I wish it was like this when I was growing up or when I was getting married. What do you see as positive changes?
I'm not sure there's a whole lot of positive.
Okay.
I think the independence of the man and the woman, I'll do my own thing, you know, that doesn't work when you're together.
Right.
You got to share, and you know, somebody has to give in.
Yeah.
Not on everything, maybe.
Right.
But you have to, you know. I married a Pence. And he's very much like his mother.
Okay.
But it's I hate to say this, but it's worked because if I bitch about it, it's to someone else. You know, we don't, you know, go on and on about it. There's no sense.
Okay.
Because he's set in his ways pretty strong. But, you know, hasn't always been, you know, great, but it's worth staying there.
Yes.
Worth staying for.
Yeah. I don't know any relationship, friendship, any type of relationship that's all good all the time.
No.
And certainly, I don't know, I guess looking at yourself too, I think if my husband's going to stand by me when I'm being myself and not my best, I suppose I ought to stand by him as long as he's, you know, there's a line. There's a line there.
Yeah. Okay, I have an Appalachian Trail story.
Okay.
You were young, but I can't remember like the age. I'm in here cooking, Clyde was still working. It was like a weekend, like a Saturday.
Yeah.
So when Clyde would bring people home, which he did often, he'd pick up hitchhikers, bring them home.
Okay.
Yeah. So
He still does it.
he hasn't done it for a long time, but he hasn't been anywhere to pick one up.
Yeah, you just picked up a family on Containing Road. Their car broke down.
Yeah, but he got a phone call on that. That's a whole. I mean, it wasn't like he was just coming along.
Okay.
But anyway, he's always done it. So I wasn't too surprised. He always come to the front door, and he'd say, "Where you at?" And I'd say, "In the kitchen" or whatever. "Are you decent?" Said it every time. I knew he had someone with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm decent. So unless I'm in a nightie with nothing on. But I said, so I come out around the corner, and there he stood with these two, a boy and a girl, forlorn looking. Oh, I pitied them as soon as I saw them. It had rained and rained and rained. They were drenched. Their clothes were soaking, dripping wet. And I said, "Oh, where'd you get these guys?" And the story was they were hiking on the Appalachian Trail in Springside over here. It goes up through where the diner used to be. That's where Dad picked them up. And they were sitting there with their coats hanging over the guardrail, trying to get them to drip off and to drain. They were waterlogged. You know how your fingers will get
Oh, yeah.
So he picked them up and brought them home. He said, "Do you have enough for supper? Can you feed them?" I said, "Yeah, I always had plenty." So we fed them supper, and I wasn't too crazy about them spending the night. You know, my rooms were full. The kids were all still home. So I hated them. And they said, Clyde said, "What would you think," in front of them, "what would you think about them spending the night?" And I just kind of give them the look, and the girl said, "Honest, if we could just sleep in your garage." And I said, and I knew right then, you know, that she was fine. And they were young. I'd say they were probably, college. And they were in college. And so I said, "Is your pack's full of wet clothes? And we don't have anything dry." I said, "Get them out. Let's go. We'll wash them and dry them." And so they were just, you couldn't have given them $1 million and they would have appreciated it. They played ball with you guys, kickball out here. Do you remember anything about this?
Nothing.
That's sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
But they spent the day with us, and we got their clothes all. And I mean, she helped me fold, and you know, it wasn't like they. But in their bedding, we got their bedding all washed up, and when they left here, they were dried out. And she said, and we fed them breakfast, and then Clyde took them over to the trail.
Okay.
I don't know where exactly they're.
I don't know.
But that's where they come down through. And they were on the Appalachian Trail, so I'll have to ask Dad. But it was, that's my only Appalachian Trail story.
That's what they call trail magic. There's a term for it. Right when you think all hope is lost, and you know you're gonna die or something. You know, things are terrible. You have to stop doing what you're doing. All of a sudden, a trail angel will come along, and you know, the trail will provide for you.
Yeah.
And
so
that just happened to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were trail angels.
You were trail angels. That's what they would call you.
I remember what we fed them. Yeah.
What'd you feed them?
Chicken. Clyde did it on the grill. You know, we had a grill.
Yeah.
That's all I remember is the chicken.
Okay.
I don't want to lie.
Yeah.
Just make it
I could have made up a menu, but I just remember the chicken. But they sure were appreciative.
It would be interesting to hear their side of that, like what they went through, and all of a sudden they're waiting there on the side of the road thinking they were done in for, they were waterlogged and soaking, and this guy just picked them up and brought them home, and they got to play kickball with the kids, and the wife did the laundry and fed them.
Yeah.
Huh.
Did you make them sleep in the garage?
Well, yes. Well, it was July or August. I mean, it was warm weather. But we had, in fact, it was they would have rather. They just were in out of the rain. And it was raining that night. And we had 2 chase lounges. Folding. And so we put them out, and I got them bedding and pillows and stuff. And that's where they slept in the garage, on those 2 chairs.
Yeah.
And they seemed very... Hey, coming from sleeping on the rocky ground.
Yeah.
Do you have a little tent?
And an inflatable sleeping pad and a sleeping bag and all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
I'll be fine.
You have to pack it and carry it.
Yep. Did you...
I hope I'm ready.
Did you ever... So when you were younger, women could not get their own credit cards, right? When you were a kid. Did you ever, once you were allowed to, did you ever get your own bank account or credit card, or did you just stick, since you were probably married at that point?
Yeah, no, I got my own.
Okay.
And it's what started it is I used to shop at this Lane Bryant.
Yes.
And I got a credit card from there. And then when we traded banks, I think, and we got credit cards from the bank type thing. So yeah, I don't know how old I was, but they didn't really give women credit cards. You couldn't get them.
Right.
So, but yeah, I had my own bank account.
Okay.
Had my own credit card.
Was that a process to be able to get it? Did you have to, did anybody have to come in and sign for you or do anything?
No, I can't remember that. We just applied and got it.
Okay.
It wasn't that big of a deal.
That's
It would have
interesting.
probably been in the 80s.
Okay.
She was born in 79. So in that,
Okay. So after you had your last child, that's when you got your first credit card. Okay. I mean, the 80s were a time for credit cards. They were predatory.
yeah.
I mean, not that they aren't now, but the 80s was a wild time.
I never used it much. We used to work on cash.
Yeah.
And so I never used it much, but not because I couldn't. We just didn't. That's not how we.
Right.
I used cash for groceries and you know, that type of thing.
Yeah. Now, if you could go back and give yourself, your younger self, any advice, knowing what you know now with all your life experience, what advice would you give your younger self?
I can't think of anything, honestly, I'd change.
Okay.
I mean, I am, you know, we kid about Dad being, you know, a little, what's a good word?
Stubborn?
Yeah, well, he's set the way it should be and all this and that. He's like his mother, big time. But he really is. But I wouldn't have changed who I married. I wouldn't have changed the kids I had.
Yeah.
What about, would you have changed whether you worked in the home or been outside of the home?
No, I wouldn't have changed that because
Didn't you sometimes feel trapped?
no,
Never.
I can't say so, Morgan. No, honest, I didn't.
Let's be honest.
I am.
Yeah.
I see. It's a different era. And raising the kids, Clyde wasn't home. And one of us had to be home.
I know it was a different era, and I understand all that. It was the expectations were different in your era. But I'm saying, like, when you would be here at home with two kids 9 months apart, like, didn't you just
13
sometimes?
months apart.
Okay, yeah, 13 months. Excuse me. Didn't you, like, you know, kind of sometimes lose your mind a little?
No, I didn't, honestly. And I'll tell you why. I had some really good friends that were in the same boat as I was. We were raising kids, staying home, struggling, you know, with money
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And we talked a lot. And I can't honestly say that I ever felt trapped or.
So you feel because you had the good friend support system is one of the reasons that you
I
feel
think so.
still blessed about.
Yeah.
Did you guys help each other? Like, were you each other's village? Did you help each other raise your kids?
I helped Marty more than I helped anyone. Or no one seemed to help me as much. And that's not a complaint. It's just the way it came off. Marty, I mean, a dear friend, and she's gone now, and I miss her bad. But
You guys have been just talking and going on for 4 hours.
3.5? There's a lot of stories to tell.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
there's a lot of pigs to show.
Yes. Yeah. Now, you were telling me about your friends when you had kids, your friends that helped you and that you were helping. You were telling me about one particular friend that you were helping out.
Yeah, Marty.
Yes.
She worked at the Brookville Hospital, and she was she'd come home and she didn't want to cook, so they'd come here and eat.
Oh,
as
yeah.
a family, and I had them more than I didn't.
Okay.
Not just her kids, the family.
Yeah.
Her and her husband and kids, and we went there rarely. She wasn't very good cook. And she hated it. She just hated cooking.
Yeah.
So she'd say, "What are you having tonight?" And I'd say, "Chicken." You got enough for us? So yeah, but we all did that to her, you know. If somebody had to work and didn't have a babysitter,
Yes.
they came here because I was here.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, so it was a lot of that.
Yeah. I think that's different now too. You see a lot of younger parents, they don't have the same support system as people used to. Even I think about my mom, when we were growing up, we would go to my grandparents' house and hang out. Sometimes for like weeks at a time, we'd go to my grandma's house or, you know, go to friends' houses. And they could all rely on each other, and now it doesn't seem. It seems like there's just so much
Now
pressure.
everyone's working. I mean, it's just the way it is. So
Right.
the daycares are raising the children, and that could have something to do with some of the problems.
Right. Yeah.
You know, when you're getting paid to watch someone's kid, there's no
Yes.
heart there.
Right.
You know, there's no attachment.
Right. I mean, I'm sure for some of them there are, but for most of them, I mean, how could you? For so many kids you're in charge of, and I'm sure it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And some of them are little monsters.
Yeah, we have a couple of them.
Earlier, you were telling me about this picture too. Is your grandmother's,
My grandmother.
her bridal shower. Okay. And you're saying it was the talk of the social event?
There was an article, and I think my sister got that article. I wonder what happened to it. It was in the paper.
Okay.
That said, it was called the social event of the season. And it was, now this is on their farm.
Okay.
And that's where, and now this is my grandmother, and then her sisters, there were 3 of them. There was Della. Boy, that's that's going back. They've been gone a long time. I think this is one of them.
Okay.
But there were 3 girls.
Okay.
And, but they were Lorena, and Della, and I can't remember the other one.
Okay.
But it'll come to me tonight when I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah. Was it common? Did they ever talk about that? I mean, I know they said
they all
social event. Yes, like everybody got dressed up to have this many bridesmaids and things.
No, this was the community shower, the bridal shower.
Okay.
Now, some of them I would imagine were in. This was not the wedding. This was
Right.
the shower.
Okay.
But why they dressed all the same, I have no idea. Because this was not wedding day.
Okay. And they dressed this nice for the wedding shower.
Yeah. Now, Grandma's dress looks a lot like that. It was white, just cotton.
Okay, like that one over there.
That's her wedding picture.
Okay, gotcha. And you said even pregnant, even 8 months pregnant, she had a 19. Whoo!
He could put. He was a good-sized man. He could put his hands around. His fingers would meet.
Wow.
Oh, she bragged about that. She was proud of that.
Yes. Yeah. Did she have like girdles or something to make it that small, or?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
think she was just. She wasn't a very big lady.
Okay. Wow. I can't.
He was a pastor.
Okay.
And they moved to Erie, and he got involved in. There's a name for it. Like they did Sunday school quarterly type things and all that kind of stuff. And he got the flu, and that flu that they talk about that was in 1912.
Oh, yes.
He got that and was in the hospital in Erie. And my mom was 6 months old, and her brother was 2. And she got the phone call that he passed.
Oh,
And she had,
a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old.
he was probably closer 3.
Still.
And she stood there for a little bit. She told this story.
Yeah.
She stood there by the phone, and after she got the news, and of course she was devastated, but she said, I can't do this. I'll just end my life.
Oh.
And Mom cried. And she said, I can't do that. I've got a job here to do.
Right.
So she packed everything up all by herself. No one helped her. She didn't know anyone in Erie. And came home. And she was a school teacher. And came home and got a job and lived at the farm. She lived at the farm with Mom and Uncle Morris. And raised. Then she got remarried. They were preteen.
Okay.
And she got remarried. But she taught school and kept her kids. And
Okay. Now, is that who you remember as your grandpa, or was that on your dad's side, your grandma and grandpa that you were close with?
Yeah, my dad's side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where I stepped on the strut.
Yes, the strut.
That was the Struttengost.
Okay. And then, so we were talking on the phone before about some of your cooking, and I hear from Morgan all the amazing recipes that you make. And we were talking on the phone before about your potato salad. So you want to tell me a little bit about this?
The hot German or
Yes.
the other? Oh, the hot German.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like the story you were telling when we had lunch together.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell that story?
Well, okay. It's pretty good.
Yes.
And everyone, well, not everyone loves it. Morgan doesn't like it at all.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's her least favorite thing that I make.
Okay.
But I don't know what made me say that to you, because I really didn't even know you. But when I tasted that, I was so disappointed for you, because it was so bland, you know. And I said, "Oh, Ashley, mine's so much better than that." And then after I said it, I thought, I can't believe I said that. But
I love that you did.
Yeah. but it is better than that one. Some people just don't put the flavor in, do they?
Right.
You gotta put the flavor in.
I feel like, does it have vinegar or lemon or something in there?
Vinegar.
Oh, I love that.
Vinegar and, of course, bacon. The more bacon, the better.
Right.
But egg,
Okay.
whole egg, you make like with a little flour to thicken. And cook it with bacon grease in it.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta get that.
Yes. Yes. And then your potato salad, your regular potato salad, is everybody's favorite, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the good stuff.
Alicia, Austin's wife, said I had taken it up to the Super Bowl party, and everybody was, "Oh, did you make?" You know, and they're all getting big bowls of it. And when I make it, I make about 10 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
usually there's not a lot left. And but she said, "What is it with this potato salad? Why is everybody fussing?" You know her at all. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, and I said, "Oh, it's no big deal. It's just because it's mine, I think." And she said, "Well, I'm going to have to taste it." And I said, "Well, go ahead." So she got a little taste, and she went back for another. And Austin said, "Are you getting more?" And she said, "This is really good." So she's eating it, and she said, "Now I know what they're talking about." I thought that was kind of cute.
I know you said you don't really have any advice for your younger self. The life you've lived has been a really good, happy, wonderful life. You know, you've had some hard, you know, everybody has bumps in the road, but for today's younger people, so, you know, my age and maybe even a little younger, like your grandchildren and great-grandchildren, what advice would you give to them as they get older?
For the marriage part?
Just in general, yeah. Give me. I would love to hear. Give me some marriage advice, and then any advice for life for everyone.
You have to give and take in a marriage. Not one person can do all the taking or all the giving.
Yeah.
You have to have an even balance. You know, be willing to give in if somebody doesn't really want that, or you know, share. You know.
Yeah.
You gotta. But as far as the kids nowadays, you know, if they don't have new, they think they're failing. I mean, it has to be. We started out. I used to lovingly call it early attic.
Yeah.
Because we were given and glad to have, you know, and people don't seem to want to do that anymore. They have to have new, and I think they feel it's success.
Okay.
You know?
Yes.
The kids will say, that sweeper's 2 years old, I need a new one.
Yeah.
Well, mine was 2 years old when I got it from the yard sale.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I was glad to have it. But now they don't, and I think they look at that as a form of success.
Right.
To have all new and new cars. Can be used, all new, everything.
Yep.
So maybe practicality
Okay.
would be a good lesson to learn. And that works in a marriage too.
Yeah.
Got to be a little practical.
I know, just looking at, I don't struggle with it so much with the new, and I couldn't really care any less about what anybody else has, but I think there are positives about technology and social media, those sorts of things, I can keep up with people I never would have been able to before social media came along. But now you see it and you see yourself compared to what everybody else has. And when you have 500 people saying that, this new thing is the best thing and you have to have this new thing, and then 6 months later an even better version, and people just keep acquiring and acquiring and acquiring, and they're never happy with what they have. It makes me feel like my heart hurts for them a little bit.
Yeah, it makes me feel bad for them, because if they have to have something new to make them happy, how can a marriage of 58 years make them happy?
Right.
Didn't you think you'd get tired of that too?
Right.
Like your couch?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know, maybe that's just, I think I'm probably more proud of our marriage lasting the way it has.
Yeah.
But I noticed with Morgan there when we were talking about that, we've had arguments. I mean, we've
Of course.
never separated, never, it was always over at the end of the argument.
Yes.
And we start another day, but there were probably plenty of them, but not serious enough to.
Yes.
Yeah, there's things I don't think I would not tolerate adultery. I would not.
Yeah.
And I can't stand drinking
Okay.
to the point of
Yes.
drunkenness all the time. So those are two things I think that would really, that I don't have that to, so
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Well, and I think your attitude about it too. You see, it makes me sad. So many people talk about how terrible marriage is, and they joke about how much they hate their husband or they hate their wives, and it's the ball and chain. And I mean, I don't know. I adore my husband. I think he gets on my nerves. Sometimes I want to kill him.
Oh yeah.
But I don't ever want to be separate. Like if I killed him, I'd keep him with me. I'd stuff him in.
Take his ashes.
Yes.
It's something. Good to have something to remind you.
Yeah. Yeah. But man, I love marriage. I adore it. And I adore my husband. And I'm pretty sure he feels the same way. He tells me he does.
I'm sure.
I don't think he's lying.
He does.
But
No, and it's a good institution if you don't disrespect it.
yes.
A lot of respect has to go. I guess there's a lot of words need to be used in the respects that keeps it going.
Yes.
But it's a good thing.
Yeah. I agree. Any other, I guess we have been here talking a while.
Yeah, it's okay.
Any other stories or thoughts you have that you, throughout your life, that are good stories you want to share? You like to tell?
Probably if you come up with a subject, I could come up with a story.
Okay. How about, what is one of the funniest or most bizarre things that you remember happening to you?
Being 5 months pregnant with Morgan,
Okay.
and I get a phone call that he went over a high wall in a uke. And
What is a uke?
a great big dirt hauler,
Oh.
big machine. And when I got the phone call there, it wasn't a funny story. And I didn't know if he was dead or alive. And
Yeah.
the man that called didn't either. He didn't know what his, what was, and I just sit down. After I hung up, I just sit down, and I thought that I remembered how that lady must have felt when she got that phone call.
Yeah. Yes.
And it kind of went together, and I thought, I'm just going to have to, I've got these kids to, but somebody opened my door. It was like 10 o'clock at night,
Okay.
and it was my mom and dad. And they never come up here late. She came to watch the kids. He came to take me to the hospital.
Okay.
And the man that called knew him. He used to work with my dad.
Okay.
So Dad took me out to the hospital. I didn't know the whole way out what I was going to find.
Right.
If he was in intensive care, if he,
Yes.
and he wasn't hurt hardly. He was stoved up.
Yeah.
But he wasn't hurt bad.
Oh my.
That was an experience that I would not want to repeat.
No, I imagine not.
No.
And being pregnant at the time too. My goodness.
Yeah, that was, and 2 kids, you know, and one on the way, and
Yeah.
the nurse said it was pretty much middle of the night by the time we got out there. And,
Yeah.
went to like an information, a desk, nurse's desk, and I said my husband was brought in an accident, and she looked up and she said, "Oh, the strip job." And I said, "Yes." And she said, "You know how I knew that that's what was going on?" And I said, "No." She said, "He said, my wife's going to be coming. Please tell her I'm okay because she's pregnant." So she said, you know, how many other pregnant girls have a husband in the hospital?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an experience that I would not want to repeat.
Yeah. Now, living here in New Bethlehem, when Morgan was in high school, there was a crazy flood here, right?
96.
Do you remember, what was it? I guess, how long did all that last? And were you guys okay up here? What was that like living through that?
We were fine up here. I went to the fire hall and helped feed people.
Okay.
We had food brought in. Just people contributed if they could get it to us. We made food and took it out and delivered it to people that were. The high school was flooded, and Morgan helped with the cleanup.
Yeah.
To get school back. It was a good year till it was back and operational.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. We weren't involved. We always had a place to come home to. But boy, people sure were devastated. It was bad.
How long did that flooding last for? The flood waters?
Probably not much more than 3-4 days.
Okay.
But the damage was done.
Yes.
Oh, there were people on Main Street that we would take food into them, and this one guy, I knew him, and I said, oh, his nickname was Bunk.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, Bunk, kitchen looks new. He said, Arlene, we just put it in last week. And I said, he said, we didn't even have everything in our drawers yet. And I said, the cupboards were gorgeous where they were ruined. He opened a cupboard drawer, and out come all that muck and yuck, and it just oozed out and went down to the floor. And he said, how would you like to face that? And I said, well, you just didn't know what to do to help him. There wasn't enough that you could do. And Clyde helped with he was in the fire company, and so he helped. Go around and pump out basements and.
Right.
But yeah, but we were fortunate we had a place to come home to it.
It's good to see the community. I mean, people obviously lost their homes, lost their businesses. I don't know. I imagine a few people probably lost their lives through that.
I don't think we had any.
No deaths?
No. I don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay.
No. Property. Lots of property damage.
Yeah. To see the community come together and help each other, clean things out and feed each other. And now you come through and the only sign of it is, on that one business, there's the high water line. You'd never know anything ever happened here.
Yeah. Yeah, there was, we had the Salvation Army come in the beginning. And it was a horrible experience.
Yes.
And, working with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, they didn't want to. They didn't want to give us. They wanted us to pay them for their services. So you never hear that when they're ringing the bell. So our president of the auxiliary.
Yeah.
Said we no longer need your services. She said we called the Red Cross. Well, she said the lady that was in charge said you'll be sorry for that. Well, we weren't. It was a good experience, and they brought their trucks with we called them roach coaches.
Okay.
We filled them with food and went out and delivered to people. And they were just wonderful to work with. But we had farmers that would butcher and brought us a whole truckload of hamburger. They had it all made into hamburger.
Oh, wow.
We made meatloaves and meatballs and spaghetti and pasta dishes and sloppy joes. And you think of something, we did it.
Okay.
The hamburger. We had over 300 pounds of hamburger. And the lady from the Salvation Army wanted us to destroy it. She wanted us to dump it in a dumpster.
What?
And she said it wasn't kept cold enough. It was frozen. it was brought there frozen, and then we had a refrigerator truck.
Yeah.
And kept it warm. Mm-hmm. Warm.
Yes, cool.
Kept it frozen almost.
Yeah.
And but she wanted us to destroy it because it was going to make somebody sick. And it was not.
No.
There wasn't anything wrong with it. But,
And you're cooking it. It's not like you're feeding it to them frozen or raw.
Oh,
What?
every day we cooked pancakes in the morning, and the doors were open. You just came in.
Yeah.
There was a cute little state policeman came in about, I'd say it was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were working and they ate, and I made them hot dogs, and I set the hot dogs down and French fries, set them down in front of him, and I looked at him. He said, "Thank you." And I said, "Does your mother know you're out this late?" He looked like a baby. And he kind of smiled. He said, "Yes, she knows." And he kind of smiled. And that older gentleman, and he wasn't old, but the older, he looked over him. He said, "You do look like a pup." And he said, "I know." And I said, "Hey, one of these days you'll be glad. You know, that they, you've got a baby. Oh,
Yes.
he just looked like he didn't even shave. He was a cutie. But we met a lot of nice people, came and helped, and Wesleyan Methodist Church they came. Boy, can they slap down a meal. We just stood back. They said, "We're giving you a break. We're going to cook tonight." And we said, okay. And they brought all the food. They brought their food, and they had a line, an assembly line, and boy, they peeled potatoes and had, a pot of potatoes on the stove, and see people come into the fire hall too and eat. And then we'd take that to the homes. But that was an experience.
Wow.
But,
You said I like to see the positive out of that. Obviously terrible time to live through, but all of the positive and community that pulls through something like that, you really get to see the best parts of people.
Yes, yeah.
When the worst things happen.
There was a lot of good things happen. There was a masseuse girl in town who went around and she had her own table, and she would go around, and that's how she was making her living. She brought it to the fire hall and gave people massages that were working. And
oh, wow.
yeah, so just all, you're right. All
Yes.
kind of adds up.
Yes. I love that.
Della, Lorena, and who?
The sisters.
Yeah, my grandma's name was Maisie.
Okay.
I always kind of wished.
And that was her, Maisie?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that name.
Yeah. I think if I ever got a female dog, I'd name her Maisie.
Ooh. Yeah.
But I won't ever get a female dog.
Okay.
They're bitchy. They're not. Boys are just.
Yes.
If you pet them and.
Yeah. I prefer male dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why. I do.
Yep. We've only, at least on my dad's side, we only ever had male dogs.
I can see that woman.
Yep. You're going to think of it at 4 o'clock in the morning.
She lived on a farm up around Mahoning Dam, up around Eddyville. It's gone. She was a
You'll
nice
think of
lady. She used to milk cows. And I thought it was kind of ignorant.
What?
I thought it was, I was just a kid.
Oh, okay.
Just little. I never saw it before. And what is she doing?
Where'd you think your milk came from?
Yeah, I didn't know. I guess not. I heard a comedian one time said, they have all these milk. They have almond milk and rice milk and, this milk and that milk. But if it doesn't come out of a titty, it shouldn't be called milk. It needs to come out of a titty. And it's true.
So you can't really, you're milking an almond.
Yeah.
Never seen an almond nipple. Yeah.
Kind of tiny, wouldn't it? Yeah. I've never tasted that. What's the other one? There's another milk.
Oat milk, soy milk, almond milk.
Yeah.
They make them all. Cashew milk.
Yeah? Have you ever had them all? You like them?
No. They'll do in a pinch.
Yeah.
I do like coconut milk in my coffee sometimes, and like the thick coconut milk in my recipes. I like that. But no, nothing. If you're used to it, nothing beats dairy milk.
Yeah. No, I'm not a milk drinker, but I like when I'm making something that calls for milk, I want milk.
Yep.
I want the good stuff.
Yes. I agree. Well, I suppose it is. I have been talking at you and
I've enjoyed
keeping
it.
you for 4 hours now.
It's going by fast.
I know. I've enjoyed. This is great.
Yeah.
Did you want to make anything today, or would you like to do a second day for the cooking?
Oh, I'd like another day to plan or think
Okay.
about. Yeah. for the
Okay.
cooking.
What do you think you'd want to make?
I've thought about that. And
Okay.
I'm not sure yet. Mm-hmm. Can I keep thinking about it and surprise you?
Ooh, I love a surprise.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
I have to ask different, because I don't think I cook as good as they sometimes think I cook.
Oh, well, listen, you ask Morgan, and your cooking can be put up against anybody's cooking and
Really?
win. Oh, yeah. She sends me these pictures when you have holidays. Oh, Arlene.
The one year Thanksgiving, that's my favorite. Mm-hmm. I had 15 side dishes. Mm-hmm. And I'm not counting turkey stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy.
You aren't even counting those.
15. It was ridiculous. I had so many. We had a table here and this and a table there. Mm-hmm. And they were full. And it was full. It was full of the side dishes. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I said, you're going to have to come back. Because there were things that weren't touched.
Oh, with that many? Yeah.
Too much. That's ridiculous. But every year I try to add a new side dish.
Okay.
Maybe take one away and.
But not that year.
What was I thinking?
I think that sounds fantastic.
Oh, it was good. Everything that I had.
And you get to show off all your dishes.
Yeah. I have some pretty dishes.
I don't know if that was the year she sent it to me, but there's been a couple years that she has taken pictures and sent me. Mm-hmm. And I know the one year it was a big table and it was full and you had all these different Pyrex and all these beautiful dishes all over the table.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm jealous.
Zach said to me one time, I said, I don't know what to put that in. I don't remember what it was. I don't know what to put that in. He said, Grandma, you don't have a problem. Get underneath that thing or underneath that thing. You'll find it. And I said, yeah, you're right. But you don't use them every day, so,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You forget about it.
Yeah. Every time I would buy a casserole, like at a yard sale or something.
Yeah.
Linda, where I got the houses, she said to me, now what are you going to use that for? And I said, Thanksgiving. Make a nice casserole. I made a cabbage casserole the last time, and it was really good, and I invented it.
Yeah?
Oh, it was tasty.
Tell me about it.
It was shredded up cabbage. I mean, I cut it kind of, and put it in a casserole with onion, lots of big sweet onion.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of onion in it. And, let me see, cheese. Cheese, butter, and egg.
Egg?
I took my egg and milk and mixed it up, and so it came out kind of sort of almost like a quiche or something.
Ooh.
But it was,
Yeah.
it was hearty.
Oh.
Somebody said, no,
My mouth is watering.
what all did you put in that? And I said, I'll write it down. No, somebody said, will you write that down? And I said, yeah, I'll write it down as soon as I remember.
Terrible. Disgusting.
Ooh, that's good.
Enough. You don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know what yours usually tastes like. That tastes it's fantastic.
You have to do a redo, right?
What's that?
You have to go for a second taste.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah,
and the rest.
Didn't want to waste
Here,
it.
hold on.
Oh, she's going to lick the back of the spoon. Okay.
Now, what is it missing then? To me, it tastes like it isn't missing anything.
I think it's, I've been cutting back on my salt.
Okay.
And that might be it.
Saltier?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see inside. Let's see what we're making. So Arlene surprised me today. She didn't tell me what we were going to make. So tell us a little bit about what we have in here.
This is my version of Swiss steak.
Okay. And how do you make this sucker?
Long and slow. Cook the meat, cover with water, add onions, mushrooms, seasonings.
Okay. And what kind of meat do you use?
Round steak.
Okay.
It's very flavorful but tough. So if you cook it a long time, you got a nice piece of meat.
Mm-hmm. Do you just roast it?
In the oven. It's an oven meal.
Okay. And how long do you typically roast it, you said?
This will be till we eat it. It'll be 4 hours.
Okay. Not quite as long as that bear that your brother said.
No, and there never was another bear in my kitchen. Maybe a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Okay, she's going back in till we eat.
All right. And what do you usually season it with?
Of course, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. Let me think. What else went in there? Parsley.
You just put it in till it feels right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or looks right.
Yeah. And do you flour it or anything while you're cooking it?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Just then I cook it until I think the gravy's been on for like 2 hours.
Okay.
I just thicken flour, water, and add to the.
Ooh, you got your potatoes going. Okay.
That's boiling like that on low.
Wow.
Well,
That's an impressive.
the stove ain't right.
No.
Oh, no? Okay. It's giving you extra juice?
Yes. And it shouldn't.
I have to tell you guys, I'm very jealous. Ooh, Brussels sprouts. Yum, yum, yum. Is that just salt and pepper and steaming it a little bit?
Yep.
All right.
I have to be careful I don't let them go too long. I usually forget.
I hear you.
And then Morgan will be pleased with this.
Okay.
Woo!
I already know what it is.
Ooh. What is this?
This is cucumbers with just plain ranch dressing out of the bottle.
Okay.
That's what she likes. Olives. And Parmesan cheese.
Really? I've never heard of that. Where did that recipe? Oh, you made it up.
Yeah.
Okay, you invented the recipe.
Watch out, buddy.
I'm definitely jealous in this kitchen. Look at this butter dish. That is the type of butter dish I need for all of the butter in my house.
There was a holiday that I got my brother coffee.
Yeah.
And it was several years ago. And I made his coffee and I put salt in it thinking that was the sugar bowl. No!
He come running
You
out
should
of
have
here.
seen his face. It wasn't purposely done. I think he thought it was.
Yeah. Is he very mad at you?
No, we laughed. He actually wasn't mad.
Jesus, I do love olives. Let's see. I'll get a good one that was next to an olive. It smells delicious.
Just really, so simple. And I make a cream that Clyde and I like better.
So good.
With evaporated milk,
Ooh.
vinegar, sugar. And we like it better, but when I make it, she...
Yes, you're making it for her. She's spoiled.
Barely.
How about that for a gravy scoop?
Yeah, that's an old one.
No, I mean the size of it.
Oh,
Usually it scoops a little bit.
it's an antiquer though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like that amount of gravy. That looks good.
Okay.
Ooh, what are we drinking?
I think we're just drinking water.
That sounds good to me.
There's filtered water there.
There's a bottle
Whoa,
there.
that's a lot.
And then, but did you think I could hang pictures? Did you think I could put nails in my wall with this?
She's a little sassy
I
today.
don't have the camera. Maybe.
Okay, guys, get these glasses out of my workspace.
Okay.
Where's your water?
Oh, right here, I think. Is that it? There, the picture?
Yeah. I should have stuck that in the fridge.
Which part? What's this?
You did it again.
I did it that time.
No, I think it sounds like it's just draining, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but
Boy, that's sensitive.
Very sensitive.
well, the other day I was wiping and I went across with my rag and it turned it on.
Huh.
When it touched.
Don't.
Yeah. Awards,
Holy moly, Morgan.
seniors and all that.
Just having the day. Okay.
Did you get well?
You got nervous because you saw me? I'm around.
Yeah. I get my hormones all flying around.
It's those irritated ones.
No.
Oh, look at that. Ooh, look at it steam.
Okay, I'm going to get something to get that out of there with.
Is there hot pads on the table?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we're pretty well set.
That looks delicious. Look at this beautiful, oh, my phone is on there. Beautiful setup.
He was headed that way.
Mash those potatoes.
Yeah.
Federal glass bowl. My mouth is watering.
If it's cold, it's his fault.
I'll take the blame, I guess.
Okay, you gonna say a
Say a
You
prayer.
want to say grace? Okay. Father, we thank you for this opportunity to be together with friends and family. And we just really do appreciate that opportunity. And we just ask that you be with us all here today. Bless this food to its intended use in our bodies. And watch over as we travel and as we move around. And we just ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Alrighty, start wherever you please.
All right.
There's little bowls for the cucumber salad.
Ooh. Ooh, these are cute. I like these.
Yeah.
These are false craft.
Mm-hmm.
They're adorable.
Dan's
Looking at
sister
that dog.
threw those away.
Look at Brutus.
I can't see.
What's he doing? Flat on.
Yeah, just flat out.
Just watch it.
Steve, do you think he's not feeling good today, Dad, or is that just his normal?
That's pretty much his
normal.
normal
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah, he's not very active.
Well, my our beef is out at Halibut's getting cut up.
Oh, nice. Went out
Where'd you
there,
get a
huh?
beef from?
A friend of, well, not a friend, I guess. Dad used to work with his grandpa.
Okay.
Dunkles. Do you know any of the Dunkles?
Probably not.
No, I'm not originally from the area,
Okay.
so I'm bad at knowing things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or where anything is.
Yes.
Well,
My-
where are you from?
Originally, have you ever heard of Conneaut Lake Park? Geneva
Oh.
Swamp?
My goodness, no.
I told you this already.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I s-
Arlene used to hang out there when she was a kid.
Ah,
where she
all
got in
right.
trouble
At the beach. In your little outfit.
Dan and Dutch had, yeah. my little bikini.
Ooh.
Dan and Dutch had a boat.
Okay.
And they go up for the summers.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they have a little camp or something out there too, or something on a trailer or something? At one time, didn't they have a? No,
Anybody else?
Yep.
I thought you took me up there once when I was
Yeah,
a kid.
it's kind of hot on the bottom.
Okay.
If you can grab to the sides, it's a little.
I got it.
Ooh, this is a nice serving spoon. I like this.
Hardy.
Yeah.
You like food here.
You do.
Yeah.
We're foodies,
Foodies.
for sure.
Nothing's complete without food.
A little warm.
Amen.
And usually a lot more than what we need.
Yeah.
Well,
Always that.
When we all come together, there's food. That's
Excellent.
I never get carried away with the side dishes.
It's like Courtney texted me for Christopher's graduation the day
You were born
off.
to be Italian.
She asked me, she says, I know you don't need food, but do you need me for anything else today?
What was it?
Christopher's graduation.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, yeah, nope, we're good. She was definitely
Look at
right.
this gravy. Oh, my mouth is watering right now. I can feel it.
It's very good, Mom.
Does anybody want
The
pepper,
gravy's delicious.
salt,
Not
pepper?
yet.
Anyone? Okay, just me.
I got it.
Oh, that gravy. Is this the stuff, Morgan, that you said you could drink this out of a cup?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You just shake.
It's not a grinder.
Hey, no.
I love the big chunks of mushroom in here. They feel really good in your mouth when you bite into them.
That's what they said. I love cheese curds. And the lady out of Cuba, in Cuba, New York, am I right? She said, you know, you can tell a really fresh cheese curd. And I said, no, taste? Or she said, no, they squeak in your mouth.
Yeah.
You bite them and they squeak.
Yeah, the squeaky cheese. They sell cheese curds now at Sharp Shopper.
Saw that.
I just bought some.
They're not a great price.
No. Well, they're just regular. When I go there, I'm expecting, do you shop at Sharp Shopper ever?
Sometimes.
I'm expecting like these rock bottom prices, and then I see regular prices for stuff, and I'm like, how ridiculous. How
Yeah.
dare somebody charge
I know.
something like that? Like, oh,
Terrible.
Rip
The heck do they think
Riverside.
this is?
Had connections.
First time I ever saw Kay. Was her maiden name Schrettenlust?
Yeah,
Was up at the fair.
up at the fair.
And Clyde, of course, went. She was standing there. She's probably one of the prettiest women I think I ever saw.
Okay.
She just was striking. Is that a good?
Yeah.
In a plain, simple. Okay, she had on jeans, a t-shirt, a cowboy hat, cowboy boots. She's grooming a horse.
Yeah.
And Clyde said, Kay, how you doing? You know, oh, Clyde. And she came over and gave him a hug. And I thought, who is this woman? She was a beautiful woman. And so once I found out she was as pretty inside as she was on the outside. Not used to eating a big lunch.
I know,
Oh,
I'm full. Have to eat dinner, that's the good thing about it.
This is going to be rough for me. I have church class after this.
Do they
And
feed
mine.
you?
Oh.
Huh?
Everybody brings something, and our priest, he's a hunky, just straight up, just no, not attractive hunky, like Scandinavian.
I got you.
Okay. But he should have been an Italian grandmother. You don't get the option. If he asks you, like, if you were to say, hey, Arlene, do you want some more of these Brussels sprouts that I made? And you say, no, thank you.
You put them on your plate.
They're still going on your plate, and you're going to eat them. He does not give you the option, and his food,
Oh, he cooks it all.
he cooks.
Oh,
He
I'll be darned.
cooks. His mother cooked a lot. She had, I don't even know how many kids he said she had, but every time you saw her, he said she was standing. She was a very short woman, and she'd be standing up on a step stool, stirring a pot that was like this big around for all those kids, and he learned to cook from her. And oh my, I'm not turning down this food when I go tonight either.
Well, he put on a whole meal.
He'll
snackies.
No, he'll put on, like, he'll bring, his family owns Lasca's Pizza in Punxsutawney. So he'll bring a couple pizzas. He'll have a couple different crock pots or casserole dishes of, like, he makes these Cuban sliders. He makes this, like, different
Starting to think about
meatballs.
turning Catholic.
I know. You would turn Catholic for his meals, I'm telling you. Come to one Monday night class and you'll be joining us. It's it's so good. And then everybody else, there's a woman, her name's Judy. I assume she's Polish because she makes all the good Polish food. She brings something homemade every time. Other people bring desserts and different things. Oh, it's amazing.
I want some too.
Look at that. Oh my gosh. So I'm not supposed to eat gluten, but I'm
Honey,
making an exception for
Move
today.
your cup up. You're gonna have an accident.
What?
You're gonna have an accident.
Oh, yeah, probably. You're probably right. Yeah.
Melissa, could you have just a little bowl of fruit?
No,
No?
I'm gonna pass because that lunch was like,
Heavy.
yeah,
It was on the heavier side
All right.
of things for life.
yeah, I have to.
I'll just have to eat too.
Dad said I'll have to just eat too.
Because she must have had them plated.
Okay, there's a story to this.
Well,
Okay.
He's making fun of me.
It is not going to be great.
Okay.
Oh. What happened?
Well,
Uh-oh. So this is Clyde's fault.
It was my fault.
Okay.
Dad, what'd you do?
What happened?
Well, it was. I couldn't find the pound cake.
Well, I wanted a pound cake, and we couldn't find one anywhere. So I was going to make one. I got a recipe. I didn't have the ingredients. It was Sunday evening. So he went to the store and got this.
Okay.
I think it's biscotti.
Oh, yeah. It kind of looks shaped like biscotti.
Yeah. So
Dag nabbit, Clyde.
she's trying to make you roll your eyes.
You know where you can always find a pound cake? Not on Sunday, though, I guess, because they're closed. It's Sharp Shopper.
Huh.
They have the Sara Lee pound cake right in the freezer.
Well,
Did you ever get one?
I'm too tight to go to knock for a pound cake.
Well, they're not open on Sundays anyway.
Okay.
Arlene, I was hiding outside your window when you got dressed again so we could match.
Aw, that was cute.
Oh, thank you. Oh, here's a question for you, Arlene. Because I feel like we are kindred spirits a little bit. You save things that are going to the trash. Have you ever dumpster dived? Oh, yeah? What kind of good stuff did you pick out of the
Well,
dumpster?
we got the
That tea
key
card.
card.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, this wasn't dumpster diving like you're talking.
Okay.
We went and cleaned up Clyde's Aunt Betty's place.
Okay.
She passed away. And Clyde's sister Penny, her children were little at the time. He was on the road, so guess who went up and cleaned up this 40 by 40 foot room, packed from the floor to the ceiling.
Oh, my.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah. It's like Christmas.
For
So,
you.
Yes.
me too.
That's where Mom found my rings that I have.
Really?
And Aunt Betty's purse. But there was a box there that we kept pushing to the side.
Okay.
Because it had newspapers on top of newspapers about that thick, covered in rat poop and
Oh, yeah.
pee. Penny called it the rat shit box. And she'd say, "Oh, Ween, don't touch that. No, ooh, that's rat shit. Don't touch that." So finally I got brave and I got gloves. We bought gloves and I took them up. And I lifted it off and I was very careful. Oh, there was a quilt, a lace tablecloth that Aunt Betty made. She,
Crocheted
yeah,
or knitted or whatever. You
I think it would be crochet.
crochet.
Because it was white oak lace.
Yep.
Just all kinds of really pretty things.
Yeah.
So I washed up the tablecloth. I thought Penny would like it. Gave it to Penny, and she goes, "Oh, where did you find that?" I said, "Rat shit box." And she said, "No, you didn't." And I said, "Yeah, it was in the bottom, and it wasn't covered with the stuff." And she said, "What else did you find?" And I said, "I handled the rat shit. You got a tablecloth. Shut up. That's it. You're not getting any more of it." It's annoying.
Do you have gum? Do you want a piece of gum?
No,
I think I have some in the car.
I think I have some.
I got a bobby pin in there.
What's that gonna do? Oh, jeez.
Oh, I know. Let's do
No
it.
wonder you can't hear.
Let's do an earwick.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever done that? Really? Oh, wait, is there a story here? Oh, tell.
My ear went shut.
Okay.
So he got some of those earwick candles, and he
I thought
said,
we were doing it.
"No, it was me."
No. Remember he got mad at us for...
Because I was laughing, and the
Oh,
candle
that's
was
right,
shaking,
that's right.
and he was afraid we were going to catch the house on fire. And she's standing
I
there,
was dying laughing.
dying
Because
laughing.
it's like this ridiculous flame coming out of my... and then he put a paper...
I thought it was the fusee.
What you said?
I thought it was one of them fusees.
Yes.
And then he has his paper plate around her and foil on it. I am dying.
And
He's yelling, "You stop it! You guys all knock out that laughing!" I was literally crying. Mom was laughing so hard.
I was
Oh,
laying
my
on the
God.
couch, and here's this, and I could see it reflecting in his glasses. and here's this flame, and she's just
I
rolling.
couldn't. Oh, it was
And all
hilarious.
and he was mad. Quit your laughing, you're gonna set the house fire.
Oh yeah, you set the couch on fire. And then we'd laugh more because, like, you know, when somebody yells at you to stop laughing, it makes it worse.
Do you remember that guy
Oh,
when
my
I got
God.
my track phone? And you were hooking me up,
Oh yeah.
and you said,
Oh.
M as in mama.
No, the guy said it. The guy
Oh, yeah,
said it,
yeah,
and then I
he said
just started dying,
Yeah.
and then I couldn't help it, and then he was laughing, and then Mom was laughing.
Oh my.
M as in a mama. She just went nuts.
Plus, he had this really
Accent.
accent,
Yes.
and it was just hysterical.
And then
to
he
me
got
at
to
the time.
laughing.
Oh yeah,
And he was,
he was laughing. We could barely got through the setup.
yeah.
Now wait a minute. The real question is, did your ear get unstuck?
Oh yeah.
No.
Or did you wax seal it?
Oh, no, it did help my ear.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And we didn't burn anything.
Nothing singed.
Yeah,
Miracle.
nothing even.
It was a miracle. Because then there was like hot pieces off and off of it. Do you remember that? Did we not do it right? I don't know.
I don't know.
But there was like, throop, throop, these big like blobs of hot lava. I was like,
Clyde says, if you can't stop your laughing, go outside.
oh my god. Fun time.
Oh
Fun
my.
times.
My cheeks are hurting.
It's like putting.
Because you can picture it, right? You
Oh
can
my
see
gosh,
all of that.
100%.
You can see all of that transpiring. Mom's laying on her side in a fetal position.
Flames shooting out
It was
of her
like
head.
it was like a Roman candle.
Yeah.
Do you think we didn't do it right?
I don't know how you light it. What else can you do? I have to have a fire extinguisher on standby.
What about?
Maybe that's why they're discontinued.
Oh, did they
I think
just,
they said you shouldn't use those anymore.
really?
I don't even know if you can buy them anymore.
I
I'll
don't
be
know.
darned.
I don't know.
That's probably why. Someone's house probably got them.
Do you have a memory of a goat?
Oh yeah, I probably told Ashley that. We were somewhere at I was little, very little, and we were at a petting zoo. And
Oh, wow.
Oh boy.
I could.
Dad's
I've never.
standing there, reading the map of the big. It was a big petting zoo. Dad, where were we?
Pittsburgh.
Okay. I have this memory of Daddy standing, guiding us all through this petting zoo. He's holding the map.
See where we were going next.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
He's guiding us through, and he's standing there so serious, reading this map of the zoo. This billy goat comes up and starts humping him.
We jumped clean up on my
Yes.
shoulder.
What?
He was big.
He reared up and come up, put his paw.
He took his map of the zoo. I might have been 4 or 5. I vividly see that in my brain still.
And then he got mad at us because we were
Wow,
laughing.
of course.
Yeah, and he got mad. He said, "Quit laughing. Make him quit doing this."
This damn thing off me.
I think his hoofs were hurting. Weren't they kind of hurting?
Hurting, yeah, he was digging into
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
I don't think I
There
ever
was other
saw.
people all around there. Wasn't like we were by ourselves. I mean,
Right.
No.
here's all these people. and
Nobody
the damn-
helped you?
No, the damn big goat jumped on my back. Son of a bitch.
Oh shoot! But that's the biggest goat I ever saw.
Yeah.
He was huge.
It was a big goat.
When he horny old billy goat.
Oh.
Oh my.
The things you do for your kids, huh, Dad?
What's that?
The things you do for your kids.
Oh yeah, that ain't nothing. That goat was nothing compared to other stuff I tried to do for your kid.
Like what?
Well, I tried it for $5.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
What?
Say it, Clyde. What did you do for $5?
What year was it?
Oh,
Mike was just infant.
69 maybe, something like that probably. Wrestled a chimpanzee.
What? What did you say? What did you say?
You heard me.
What?
At a fair.
He almost ripped his ear off. Well, no kidding, it's a chimpanzee.
We're supposed to wrestle a chimpanzee. Well, don't ever do it because
No kidding. No kidding. Well, who won?
he did. You know, when you're 19, you think you're pretty tough. You know, you can do anything. I'll try anything once. That was a mistake.
You
And
did almost rip your ear off.
Almost, yeah.
I had to sign for him to do it because he wasn't 21.
That was the first clue. This shouldn't happen.
He came over to me, he said, here, sign this. I said, why do I have to sign it? And he said, well, just sign it. Don't ask, just sign it. Well, but why do I have to? And I'm sitting there holding the baby and Melissa's hanging on my leg. You know, they were 13 months apart. I had 2. And he goes, it's because I'm not old enough. Oh, okay.
Oh my.
For $5. If he stayed in the
Thing for so long, you got $5.
Did you get your $5?
I got the $5. It was a lot of money then.
I know. So I wanted Ashley to know what year it was.
Yeah, it was about 69.
69.
yeah.
Wow. How many other people wrestled a chimpanzee?
Just Dad.
As
No.
everybody
The whole
else
entire-
had better sense.
There was one or two other
The whole
ones.
other. It was at the Clarion County
Kind of
Fair.
fair,
Right?
yeah.
Larry Rarick was
Larry
next.
Rarick did, yeah. But the guy said, just play with him. And I said, oh, I can do that, no problem. Well, I was, we're supposed to be boxing and playing and
He was
carrying
putting
on.
on a show.
And acting up a little bit, sure. And, well, he jumped down off of a tire or something, wasn't it? And well, I hit him by mistake.
He jumped right into it.
He jumped into, well, I hit him right in the nose.
Oh.
Well, he just went friggin' nuts.
He did.
Yeah, he's going all over the bouncing around, going crazy. Jumped down, landed right on me, and they give you this old cardboard helmet back in the days, to keep you. I don't know why, in case you banged your head off the ceiling wall or something. I don't know. Well, he got a hold of that like this, and got my ear at the same time and he went and just pulled this ear loose from the side of my head. Just a little bit, not bad. And then we went down on the ground and we're rolling around and it wasn't pretty. It was kind of ugly.
I imagine.
Did the guy have to stop him?
Yeah, oh yeah, he got
Oh,
him.
he pulled him off of.
That makes me feel sad for that orangutan.
Yeah.
So then I had to
It's
go
a
home.
chimpanzee more.
I got in the shower and I had fleas. And,
Oh,
Are
yeah.
you serious?
yeah, I had fleas on me. Yeah,
Ear
Oh, poor little
bleeding.
chimp.
my ear was bleeding. So my trip to the fair wasn't very good.
You did make $5.
Yeah, I made $5.
Yes.
I paid for us to get in.
Get your money back.
That's what. Who was there? Bob Case and
Bob and Judy,
Judy
and
and
Larry and Joan.
Joan.
Their
Yeah,
kids,
yeah.
all the kids.
Then Larry says, "I'm going to try that."
After he saw what happened?
Yeah. Well, he was.
Well,
Larry was.
he was signed up first.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, you saw he signed up and you said, I can do that if Larry Rarick was an animal.
Huge.
A nice big
guy. You just. Yeah. We'd been friends for a long
He
time.
didn't, he didn't get his ear pulled. That was something.
Yeah.
Wow. The things they used to let people do.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
True.
Somebody said, years later, somebody said, well, that could have killed him and left you with those 2 kids. I said, yeah, I know. I'd have been over it by now. But time had passed.
A whole lot of time.
Imagine, how did you become a widow? Well,
Yeah,
my husband got in a boxing ring with a chimpanzee.
yeah,
I won the $5 though.
yeah. We were at Grand Canyon. We took our camper out west, and I hate heights. I'm really bad with heights.
Okay.
So he goes out, he's standing on the edge of this place, and he's looking and looking. And I kept saying, Clyde, back up a little. Clyde, please back up a little bit. And this man looked, he had a bunch of Boy Scouts there. And he said, ma'am, he's not as close as it looks. He's okay. And I said, yeah, but he's got the keys in his pocket. I didn't want him to fall. I'd never get the keys.
Or just lose the keys.
Huh?
Or just lose the keys. How about if that would have happened?
Oh,
Dad was fine, but the keys fell.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that could have happened.
Yeah.
should have booted him over to go
The
find
guy,
him.
the guy, he got a kick out of that.
Yeah, he went, oh, he laughed. I didn't want to look like I was sissy. You know?
Oh yeah.
So he said, he's okay, honest, don't worry, he's all right. I said, yeah, but he's got the keys.
I bet he still tells that story.
Maybe.
We've had some good times.
Probably more good than bad.
Yeah.
Right, Clyde?
Right.
The gorilla slayer.
Yeah. Gorilla Slayer.
Goat Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was worse for you, Clyde, the goat or the chimpanzee?
Probably the chimpanzee.
Oh, yeah? You really kind of enjoyed the goat.
No, I can't. I won't say that. Sally.
Well, do you remember Gallitzin? Ever hearing about Gallitzin? Where you drove through the animals? I mean, they had elephants, they had lions, tigers, and bears.
Oh my.
And they're out there. That was good. And they were out there, and you just drove your car through this.
Okay.
And they were free. You were the one that was in the car. And
Right.
you said, don't put down your windows, don't have food in your car,
Mm-hmm.
da-da-da-da-da. There were rules. Well, we borrowed his mom's car to go because ours was old and clunky, probably. And we're at going through, and here's a big lion. I mean, a big lion right there, eating. They threw meat at them and stuff, and he's lying there eating. And Clyde said, look at him, he's right there. I said, yeah, I see. All of a sudden, Ashley, my window comes down. And I'm hunting for buttons. I said, Clyde, put that up, put that. I looked there, and he's sitting there. And he's going, put up and down, up and down. And I said, put that, because honestly, that was dangerous.
Yeah.
If he'd have come over there and taken one of the kids, you know, you'd have been over it by now, but
Yeah,
you'd have felt that.
I see videos of that stuff happening now.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Arlene,
Oh, you're welcome.
for sharing all this. That was delicious. I'm exceptionally full, but very, very happy about it. Oh. And your stories were fabulous. Thank you guys for watching. Join us next month, and you can learn some new things from a new person.